All right, we're checking out the only game where the lowest amount of clearance will bring the highest amount of absolute chaos. It's beamng.drive. In the world of vehicular crashes, there's a couple of ways to get the most amount of destruction possible. One of the ways is using low clearance. It doesn't sound like such a spectacle until you realize what it does to people. Now, we obviously had to start with this baseline, where a human being has attempted to escape through the window of the back of the bus. Now, if you go inside, you might think that the driver is okay. No, his head has been turned sideways at horrible angles, while all of his people in the back are dead. Understand, we haven't even put rockets on a car yet, and things are this bad already. And yes, I said we hadn't put rockets on it yet. So obviously we have to put rockets on it. Because jetting up a bus makes everything better and also gets you to your destination. Oh, that guy just got wiped out. Much faster. I'm pretty sure that a piece of the bus may have shot out from the front of it like a cannon. I've never seen a bus get bent in half like some sort of WWE scorpion maneuver. I'm pretty sure this is a submission hold in the WWE. I love that the rockets are still going too. I know there was a blue car coming underneath this bridge too. I think a piece of the truck may have killed the man inside because the front particles of this bus shot out at like 400 miles an hour. Now, obviously this baseline is bringing us up to us eventually doing sequential low clearance, so that we can dissect a vehicle with lower and lower clearance until there's nothing left. I just wanted to show you the inside where the driver's seat is, because I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't survive this. Like, I don't know where the first person view eventually got, but I'm pretty sure it was inside of the dashboard. Now, I said vehicle dissection because effectively what happens is these low clearances can pull pieces of the trucks apart, like different parts of the body, even though the truck will kind of continue to function. I also had to set something up like the Fast and the Furious, where one vehicle manages to go underneath a low clearance area and then all the police get absolutely obliterated by it. Only problem is I think I made it a bit too low. Okay, I got a new personal best on how far the grill got kicked there. And like I said, low clearance is where you get the most insane damage. You basically need to see that from a different angle because the engine has been vomited out of the front of the car like an old piece of gum. I'm pretty sure that the side view mirrors are in a different solar system after this hit. That tire came off so fast that like Captain America's shield, it could have bounced off 7 different people and killed Thanos. Have you ever felt gasoline hit your face at 700 miles an hour like a violent bottle of Prime? That's what it tastes like. I don't know if you saw the gas spray out of the vehicle there, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It didn't even have time to catch on fire. So I thought to myself, what we have to do is pick a car that's lower to the ground, right? So we can get underneath of the low clearance. Nope. Something else I'd never seen before happened here. I don't know if you could tell, the 2 seats are no longer in the vehicle, the front seats. Why not? Because like some kind of satanic dentist, at the moment of impact, look at how they surgically get removed from the front of the car. Both seats perfectly removed. So I tried to go even lower to the ground with the vehicle, and the only thing that happened was the vehicle got compacted more than any other vehicle I've thrown at this yet. This car went from a wheelbase of whatever, like 12 feet to a wheelbase of about 7 inches. I'm not kidding. You can see the front tire and the rear tire in that shot. All this is the future of government-maintained roads that's meant to reduce the population. I'll bet they could legitimately put cameras right here and get tons of tax dollars for people wanting to tune in for this. The insanity is when you go in slow motion, the slow motion doesn't know what to do because parts of the vehicle that were never meant to get removed, like pulled out like a tumor, get pulled out. Do you know what'll get you killed in life? Nature. I made a tree roadblock here specifically tall enough so finally I could do the Vin Diesel thing and get one vehicle underneath the tree and then a trailing vehicle to get obliterated by the tree. And it got obliterated so bad that afterward its corpse got spiked by a different vehicle that I had set up behind it, which was a minivan of all things. So yeah, basically how this works is fast vehicle is getting trailed it is low enough to the ground to where it won't take any damage. So it escapes through no problem. Obviously, I had to put the road closed sign like 2 feet from the setup because I don't want you to really know that the road is closed. Well, I want you to know that the road is closed, but at the last second, look at what happens to the top cab of that truck. And then the minivan just boop. And then the cabin goes into an alternate dimension. It gets possessed by Cthulhu and just like some sort of weird paranormal activity possession Toby demon. It just starts glitching all over the screen. So then obviously to do sequential low clearances, we move the tree down. First vehicle still manages to get by it. Second vehicle that's already been murdered, it just gets murdered even more. Okay, did you see what just happened there? The vehicle gave up trying to understand physics and gained like 4,000 extra miles an hour when it got stuck on the tree. I have no clue why. This is what I love about low clearance. It makes stuff do things that make absolutely no sense. Here's a different angle so you can see this again, that it wasn't just like a weird glitch. The vehicle hits, everything's fine. Just kidding. That's gravity for you. Poltergeist is back, except now it's worse than the first time, okay? And then Dad never comes home with the milk. So we're gonna go ahead and bring the tree down even more. And the reason we're doing this is because it seems like every time I bring that tree down, something worse happens to the vehicles involved. Like catching on fire and burning everyone alive. And the fire just keeps spreading. The great part is you get to see how the fire started too. This time it is legitimately started by the fuel, because the fuel was only going at about 200 miles an hour when it left the vehicle instead of like 1,200 miles an hour. Look at this two-dimensional cow sitting there watching like a sprite does. He's like,
Gray, why do you love ruining lives?
Because BeamNG gives me the tools to do just that. Now in the beginning, again, this hit doesn't look that bad until that happens. Then the vehicle gets shot through. It's only the truck though that does that weird insanity. All the other vehicles, normal amounts of damage. Like this truck gets turned into a twist tie that keeps some kid's sandwich bag for his 8th grade lunch fresh. Watch, it hits and then the gas is like,
if there's no more momentum, we can't catch on fire. Yay!
I'm pretty sure what's actually happening is the drivetrains of the vehicles are trying to come through the screen and kill me. So I got this tree so low that it just barely touches that original car. And then afterward, what happens is a dissection class, because the engine of the red car got peeled away from the entire body of the rest of the vehicle. You come to a road closed sign. This is a GrayStillPlays video, so obviously you don't heed it at all, because then I won't have a YouTube video. So basically what's set up here is low clearance canyons, but we're gonna keep making the physical rock lower and lower. Now this doesn't look that bad until you realize that your entire family is in the back in a camper. Also, the passenger seat is now this dead end sign. There goes the family, there goes the camper. Family's like, I have to go to the bathroom. The father's like,
we're not stopping.
There is a bathroom inside of the camper. The only problem is it's so cluttered in there that someone might not be able to find it, which is why I decided to help them by removing the skin of the camper. The camper got skinned alive. There's the toilet. Told you I would free it up for everyone so you could see it easier. As one can imagine, we have to throw a bus at this, because for once I wanted to get a vehicle lodged inside of the low clearance. And the bus works well because the clearance of the rock comes down over time like a wedge. Guy's driving the bus, looks down at his phone. All right, he's trying to see how well his fantasy football team is doing. The only problem was he's got Dolphins players, so they're doing terrible. So right here, not in Valhalla, instantaneously entered Valhalla. Looking back, when the people that were in the back of the bus are now in the front of the bus, and your hand is twisted inside of the steering wheel, not good. Gray, why don't you take a car and throw some rockets on it? You got it. Oh my God. We may need to take a different look at that crash, because I was not expecting that one to be quite so violent. The road closure isn't so much telling people that the road is closed, it's pointing them to the afterlife. And the afterlife comes very, very swiftly in low clearance crashes. I had to stay here underneath this overhang to realize something. One of the rockets just gets caught underneath this area and just stays there. Even if you slow things down, it happens so fast. The car gets a haircut, removes about 6 inches off the top, blows up what was left of the camper. Everyone was probably, and then it just gets cut in half. The whole car gets cut in half and everything goes wrong. Why not throw rockets on a bus and use that? You got it. After all, we made a bus fold in half like a sad deck of cards. And yeah, folding is something buses are very well trained at. Even if Dad pulled over with the camper and didn't want to go through that road closure area, I made sure that he wasn't going to survive anyway. And so I wanted to see if we could get the scoop on the front of this bus peeled away from it with the overhang. It's harder than it looks. And that brings us to sequentially lower and lower overpasses. I wanted to turn a vehicle into a literal flapjack by shrinking it down more and more with every low clearance. So each low clearance is lower than the last until it effectively gets down to ground level. Nothing should make it past the last one. So first up, nice fast car. Okay, you can see, easily getting through like the first half dozen. Then things start to get a little bit lower, and all the way in the back is when it gets out of hand. The SUV for the police is probably best because it gets obliterated more and more each time until finally, like in the second to last one, it is unable to make it through. In case you wanted to see what it's like to enter a black hole again, look at how hard the rear wheels are trying to meet up with the front wheels of this vehicle. I love it. So the police car loses its light bar first, well, sort of. Manages to get under that second to last overhang and gets all the way to the last one. I was very impressed that it managed to make it underneath the second to last one because it is very low. Now, everyone inside of the police car also lost 6 inches off their height because their vertebrae got removed from their body. This is a real life phobia I have where I'm driving a tall vehicle and I'm always thinking that the top part of it is gonna hit these overhangs. Look at how close you can get. Now that last one there definitely hit. This one also hit and probably killed everyone inside. And then the SUV, first goes the light bar, gets dissected off, and then just a little bit at a time, doors starting to open up, vehicle's still running, kind of in the shape of a triangle now, and then randomly, my gigantic 18-wheeler finally comes in. Looking at this in slow-mo makes me realize what's saving this SUV, it's the suspension. The vehicle shoots downward about 6 inches from the suspension, and that basically allows it to get through that overhang. I didn't realize that the bumper got kicked like a field goal. And then our tallest vehicle, Tasty Cola, just squeaks under that one. Then the top portion still on, but starting to get removed. There goes the panels on the top. I love how it breaks down a little more each time, and then a little more, and then a little more. The shroud on the front of the truck is beginning to leave, but the truck was still going. I was so impressed at how far that this made it all the way to the SUV. Again, just barely touches it right there. That was perfect. I didn't realize that I had put it at such a correct height. And then just took off about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches more each time they get lowered down. Then the whole Tasty Cola is gone. Then the shroud gets folded in on itself, and it's still in one piece though, and the fuel tanks haven't ruptured or anything. I wanted a truck with less stuff on it that was a little bit faster just to see if I could get one of these gigantic vehicles all the way to the very last low clearance. So we're already moving about twice as fast as the last truck. You can see the front, the top of it, again, a little bit, and then a little bit, and then the whole top leaves. The entire cabin is just gone, but it's still going. Look at how low it is to the ground. Still going. The engine is still functioning. And then finally right here, the engine block couldn't make it underneath the clearance anymore. Seeing everything bend in slow-mo is very satisfying because there's a little bit of a lean right now because it's already hit 2 different low clearances. This one's where the damage starts to really happen. And it's so uniform how it gets crushed. Like how it goes from front to back in the crushing and then comes out a little bit lower. Probably some important piece just got ejected off of the truck. A little bit lower and the entire cabin goes down in one thing. Then you have the push bars in the front. Those are still on there. Right about here is where it's low enough to see the push bars in the front. The grill starts to get hit. So the grill is just slowing down the entirety of the vehicle. It still makes it though. Again, another important part probably, or it's just a cup holder, which realistically is pretty important. That grill, fighting for survival, wants to get paid, does not want to leave the truck, regardless of what happens. Finally, in the end, it makes it all the way to the end. As one can imagine, we had to final destination this thing up by putting a bunch of pallets with pipes on the back, just because I was curious if that would stop it from getting as far as it had been. What we're losing in speed, we're making up in the potential to cause great bodily harm to everyone within like a 2-mile radius with these pipes. Still managing to get under, but the stacks are starting to get crumpled in on themselves. I love the taste of carbon monoxide in the morning. Ugh. And then finally, the pipes get wiped out, and a fire, unlike anything I had seen yet with any of the vehicles, breaks out. That is a lot of fuel. You can actually watch the fuel spit out like someone listening to a joke while drinking soda, and it like comes out their nose. And then it catches on fire, and then the people in the front get to feel what it's like to sit on the surface of the sun. Well, today I learned that low clearance causes a high amount of mortality. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of beamng.drive. Till next time, stay foxy and much love.